All right, how are we doing, everybody? Welcome in. Happy Sunday to you. Hope you all are doing well. Obviously, it is D&D day. It's been a minute, but we are finally back. It's been like 2 months, I think, since we played last. But we're back rolling dice. Group's gonna look a little bit different. You'll see. If you want to get caught up, everything is on my YouTube channel. You can !YouTube, catch up on the whole campaign. It's all going to be edited there. And then obviously this one, once I get time, will edit and be up there. Oh my god, stop. But yeah, we got the whole crew here. Let me appreciate it, ZB. Let me unmute them. Unmute myself, and let's go on over. All right, I think we're good. What's up, everybody? Hello, hello.
Hey.
Let's
Yo.
let's play.
Let's play. Hey. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming back to us. Welcome to what we're going to call basically our second arc with this adventuring party, which actually, funny enough, generally adventuring parties have a group name by now, so that's going to be one of the things we're going to suggest either here and in chat comments or in amongst the party. So we basically want a way to be able to get everybody under a title going forward. But we've a couple of questions that we're going to ask the group before we go into today. And we're going to ask for Bo. Bo, first of all, can you give me a number between 6 and 24, please?
6 and 24. 15.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. I'm going to go for Tel and Kay. I'm going to ask you guys to pick a color each.
Blue.
Gray.
Claude, describe the weather in Daggerford. Oh, you're mute.
Sorry, I was thinking anyway. It is a light. It's snow, like a light. It's not sticking, but the snow is coming down.
Nothing. All right, and as we basically talked about it in that session there, we're basically going to find the party still in Daggerford. Okay, just shy of 4 months has passed since our last adventures with this group. Some would say 4 months, some would say 15 weeks, to be accurate. So what we find now is, as we enter the Daggerford, we look at this fantastic city, the 3 levels of the city, as we had talked about before, being the belt, the sheath, and the hilt of Daggerford, being the 3 key areas of the city. Basically, the belt is the tier at the bottom of the map. What you generally find in quite large cities is, if there's some sort of a hierarchy, generally the ones at the top treat themselves a little bit better. Where Daggerford stands out is the largest, the most populous area of the city, the belt, is actually probably the best maintained. It has the largest sort of section of the population. Most shops and residents are in this part of the area. Tier 2 is basically called the Sheath. You've a few less houses in there. It's tidy, but it's not particularly fancy as it goes along. And the hilt of Daggerford is sort of large key, let's call them public sector, council, warden properties in this area. It's generally, once again, it's functional, not fancy at all. But this is where key meetings, for example, within the council take place. So, for example, this was the Cloak of Daggerford, was the name of the council that we had met before. And it's outside this building on there's a chill in the air within Daggerford, as the party finds themselves up in tier 3, the hilt of Daggerford. They're outside an old church, and they find themselves walking up a set of steps with a crowd either side of them cheering, and there's laughter, there's bunting and decorations in the area. The bunting, as you look around, there's some gray bunting, blue bunting, lots of flags in there. Sort of the key colors for Daggerford is basically what's been used to decorate this area, as our party are walking up a set of steps towards the main remaining council members that we had from our first session. So we have Cornelius, we have Mary Elray, and we have Quentin Tusk. However, there's a new figure alongside the council members, because unfortunately we lost Diane Brunswick, the Council of Defense, and we lost Truestorm as well in the aftermath of the chaos of about 4 months ago. However, rather than trying to identify how this new power dynamic is going to play out, you are reassured that when you look up, meet our old friend Xyrix from Magfill Swamp. In the the rebuilding of Daggerford following Kisera's attack onto the city. Basically, rather than keeping themselves contained within the city, they've started to reach out a bit more into the areas and find a way to work together. And especially with the devastation of all the way back from Shellburg, Magfill Swamp wouldn't have been able to accommodate all of these refugees for the long term. So they've been able to bring them into Daggerford. So a lot of our favorite characters are in the crowd as well as we go along. We have Lorax in the crowd. We have Aesir in the crowd. They're a bit back. People are giving them a bit of space as they walk along. There's a bard in the crowd that we know that is playing on a beautiful drum set as we play. Jarvis is in the crowd as well with his family. And there is, as well as that, another individual who is basically trying to play it off as he's quite cool in the area, but he's really happy to see his friends being rewarded for their efforts. Okay, so we find these individuals in amongst the crowd as we go along. So we'll return back to the council. Cornelius is the most practiced speaker, and he walks up to the group as they are all standing on the stairs outside of this church, and he goes, "We are gathered here to pay our respects to those that we lost, and to signify a new chapter in Daggerford, a chapter of friendship, partnership, and ultimately growth." I'd like to welcome Xerix here for his first official engagement as part of the Cloak of Daggerford Council. I'd like to thank you for your time here. And Xerix just basically looks at him and goes, he's quite humble, and he shakes his stick and thanks Cornelius. And we want to take this opportunity to award just a symbol of our gratitude to our adventuring party. So I ask that Thomas, Rayan, Claude, Boduk, and Telemus all approach. And basically, you can see off to the side, there's a nice sort of badge or brooch that's kind of been given out. It's been pinned onto your shirt, each of you, as you take the time. Cornelius internally goes, if there's anything you'd like to say before we continue with our proceedings, please feel free to speak to your thankful residents of Daggerford. Anybody like to start?
I just want to ask, can we take my wanted posters down? No. Are we allowed to do that?
You do have a striking resemblance to somebody that I saw on a poster once, but you don't have to worry about that. That was his name was Viator. You don't have to worry about that. But I think that's an excellent idea. I will ask them to be removed.
Very handsome and dashing young man he is.
I imagine he has grown in his time since those posters were first put onto the board, and wherever he is, we hope that he's doing well.
Yep, he learned his lesson.
Don't we all? We all deserve many chances as we can.
Amen.
Tommy definitely is hamming it up, and like he's like, even while Tell is like talking, he's like waving at people, like pointing to some of the good looking women, like blowing little kisses and stuff. Like this Tommy is very he likes. There's two different crowds he's ever met. There's a crowd that's like this, that's cheering you on, and then there's a crowd that's chasing you out of the city. And he definitely likes this one a whole lot better. So he's definitely on the way up the stairs. He was high-fiving people, like accepting like any food or gifts or anything given to him. So he's sitting there with like he's got some bread, he's like waving to people, but he'll definitely step up and thank it's Cornelius. Yeah, Cornelius.
Cornelius, yeah.
I want to say how thankful I am that your city has helped provide the repairs for the wonderful ship that was used in the fight. Regardless if this has happened or not happened, I am specifically putting him on like blast of like maybe he told me it would happen, maybe not, but I'm like making it a thing now that like you honoring us or honoring me as the new captain of the ship to help supply and aid my crew in fixing the vessel that was very monumental in saving most of the city, and I can't thank you enough for that. And the biggest, cheesiest grin on his face, because he's basically trying to back him into a corner of making this happen, if it will or not. But and to all the people here, we may have been out there, fighting, but you guys were fighting here, and this one's just as much as on you as it is on us. So thank you all, thank you, and it very like. Wave it high.
As Cornelius is stepping up to put the badge or the brooch, the medal basically onto your coat, Mary Elray actually is the one that steps up, and she kind of slightly pushes Cornelius out of the way, and she goes, "You deserve this, my salty sea dog. This maiden's sea legs might want to be, I don't know, see your new ship. By the way," she gives you a wink, goes, "I got those repairs sorted for you. Your ship is in the dock, waiting for you. We can keep it here. However, I do think that we should rename the boat, the ship. As you know, it's bad luck for a ship to go out in water without a name. However, I do believe that since Captain Zane is no longer with us, we should absolutely retire that name due to its nefarious connection with our events."
That makes sense.
As you kind of turn around to the crowd, she basically gives you like a Kai like squeeze in the butt, just so that no one can see. She goes,
Tommy definitely has a grin on his face with that. Like,
yeah, cool. Thank you, Tommy.
Rian's just kind of melting into the background.
Yeah. Jarvis's kid is going crazy for you. Like he's up on Jarvis's shoulder, and he's like absolutely like noticeably like everyone's kind of cheering, but this little kid's voice is going nuts for seeing Rian. Nuts. So you're trying to shy away. I was like, I know her. Awesome! Oh yeah! So yeah, so he's basically not letting you shy away from that. He's not even thinking of it that way. He just wants to make sure that you get all the praise you deserve. Okay, Rian, do you want to say anything? Or are you just sort of happy where you are on stage and?
Maybe I'll just cast a minor illusion of just an animal for Tobin to play with to take the focus off of me again and be like, look at the cute dog.
Yeah. Fantastic. Any animal? Is it by any chance a displacer kitten or a squirrel or?
Let's go with the squirrel because I know how Tobin feels about displacer kittens.
Yeah. So basically he's running around in a circle around everybody, and you can kind of see him. The squirrel runs between like the sandals of Quentin Tusk, and Tobin flies through his legs as he goes along, but he's not that big, so he barely touches his knees or anything. And you can see him around the cloak of Cornelius and circle, and eventually he's got that really happy, tired smile on his face. Like, he's happy to kind of just come and sit beside you. And every so often he gives a slight weird look to Cyrus, but nothing aggressive, right? Just more confused. Cool. Claude or Bo?
I'll take it. So Bo's gonna be very timid about this. He's a bard, and he's used to playing in taverns and such. He's not used to this large of a crowd. He's not used to the city staring at him. He's used to being, minor, like by himself or in, smaller groups.
Yeah.
This is incredibly intimidating. So he's pretty nervous about approaching. So he goes up. He approaches and bashfully takes gets his brooch, and then he turns to the crowd and gives a nice bow. And Bo pulls out his grandfather's banjo that I broke. I have both ends of it, and I cast mending on it.
Okay.
Which I've to finally repair it back to, because it's split at the neck, repair
Yep.
it, and then I would say he's going to look towards the crowd and say that this one is dedicated to you, the people of Daggerford, the folks that kept us going, the reason why we had to fight hard and save the day. And he's gonna play a new tune that he made he wrote just for this occasion. Hopefully the crowd will react well to it.
That's like, yeah, so it's once again, it's because you're not necessarily trying to convince anybody of anything. You don't have to worry about a performance check. You are a musician. This is what you do. It's not like you can do musicianing wrong at this stage. And basically, George, the bard in the audience, he is. You can see he's impressed, like because George, he's been there, he's been around.
Crowd.
So he's pretty happy. So every so often you get a little bit of a drum beat kind of from him because he's playing your drums.
Do I see him in the crowd?
Yeah, you can see him. He's quite a dashing figure. He does stand out as well with the skin. Plus, he stands out because you recognize him as well. So in amongst the crowd, you can kind of see him. He's not looking to take your moment. He's not doing anything like that there. He's more just supporting any other musician. However, though. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, whenever Bo notices George finally in the crowd, he's gonna stop.
Okay.
Dead.
Cool. So you see George in the background, and two things happen, Bo, basically as you are playing. One is you hear a very familiar whisper of jealous. Did you get that, or did it cut out?
Yeah, no, I got it.
I cut it. Yeah. So you heard that, and for a moment, like as you're sort of stopping, you're like, "What's gonna happen?" But nothing happens this time. So nothing happens, thankfully, in the group that you're in. No side effects yet.
No.
As everybody is pleasantly cheering, you do hear one voice in the background aggressively booing. And stumbling, and everyone's kind of looking around and seeing, and basically Beauregard is there in the crowd. He's still drunk, still wasted. He's like, "Oh, Bo, you suck. You suck. I'm the best Bo. Boo Bo." And he's kind of laughing to himself like he's drunk. Boo Bo. You get it now. I mean, Bo, aggressive. So yeah. And eventually he kind of stumbles away. People try to ignore him. He sort of stumbles away.
Again,
yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Tell, you spoke to the crowd, if I'm correct. Yeah, you already talked. Yeah.
I'll just wave to the crowd. I'm not going to say too much.
Fantastic.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And and then Claude, is there anything you want to say?
No, Claude doesn't want to say anything. He's not particularly proud of his connection to it, but he's up there as kind of like a dutiful, like, sense of his role. So he's more kind of like standing at attention like a soldier. Just
Yeah.
Can I do a perception check if Claude's brother and father are around? We just walked away
you
from his
can-
father last time, right? He kind of backed down, and
Yeah.
then we kind of had bigger things to go.
Yeah.
Are either of them there?
No, you can't see any of them in the crowd. As everybody was talking, and as sort of the crowd realized that Claude was the only one kind of yet to speak, the energy in the crowd did sort of dip. Like it was more of a sort of a quiet murmur, and it's like, and you can hear the odd sort of, what's he doing up there? Like, oh, yeah, of course he knew nothing about it. Yeah, sure. I wonder how he afforded that nice shield. There's all sorts of basic kind of murmurings, and no one's outright kind of saying anything because the council have said that you're a hero, and it's rife for conspiracy theories and what's going on. But no, there's no Rickard and there's no Nelson in the crowd that you can see. And with that there, basically Cornelius goes, thank you, everybody. I would like to remind that everybody on this stage has been or was crucial to the salvation of Daggerford. I know this young man myself. He may share a family name, but he does not share that family heart. And so, Claude, at this point, Cornelius, you're both in the Temple of Helm together. He's kind of sensing this, and he's outright going out of his way to kind of support you and back you publicly in this endeavor. And I would ask everybody to turn their attention to the rear of the kind of the doorway, let's call it, of the hilt of Daggerford, as we unveil our memory, our final thank you of this ceremony. With that there, I direct everyone's attention. Basically, there's a cloak on above the tower at the sort of the doorway where you would enter into the hilt. And Xeris is there. And you can tell all the councilmen know about this as a plan. There's nothing particularly shocking about this. I have way too many pictures in here. I'm going to have to sort this out. Basically, above that, there is a large statue of Danu, the final figure in this event who sacrificed himself to basically was critical in the defeat of Kisera and the saving of Daggerford. We also asked our party here to provide a cherished memory for his plaque, which you'll be able to see at the base of the statue if you care to visit that at some point during your travels here. So we thank you for your time. Everybody, the heroes of Daggerford, big cheers, way, everyone's going crazy. And basically, short and sweet ceremony. You can tell it's kind of been used more as in conjunction with other rebuilding works that's coming. So basically the port is reopening today after the destruction, after the devastation on that area. Thankfully, not a lot of the buildings were destroyed in that, but in particular, the Howling Boar was responsible for quite a bit of the damage in the area, as well as aid the other elemental guardian cracking up onto the port area, as well as obviously Kisera. So yeah, so basically the council, the Cloak of Daggerford, they thank everybody for their time, and please enjoy and celebrate the reopening of Daggerford. At that time, as things are starting to settle down, there's a bit of a chill in the air, and people are starting to notice a few snowflakes falling from the sky, and starting to basically just lightly cover the ground. But it's still like late autumn, early winter, so it's probably not going to stay on to the surface for too long. It's not going to get that heavy, but you can still notice at least that significant chill in the air. What would the party like to do, or what would anybody like to do?
Bo is gonna keep an eye on George. He really wants to try to track him down. He's been trying to. He's had him on his mind this entire.
Yeah.
The last 4 months.
Right.
So I
Fantastic.
don't know if I could do a perception check to see if I can see him where he goes when the crowd disappears.
So you can basically see George isn't really going anywhere. Like George is, he's not hiding. He's not trying to stay away from you. He's in amongst it. As far as he's concerned, he's just
there.
happy. He's happy to have been there. It's not like someone who knows they did something wrong or was kind of slinking away and trying to hide or whatever. He's pretty distinctive. He's not really hidden from attention before, so you can kind of easily see where he is.
Yeah, the last experience Bo had with him was at the bar. What was it, the captain or the
Foolish captain? Yep.
captain? Yeah, whenever he just disappeared after the fight.
Yep. Fantastic.
I think
Okay. So yeah, so you can keep an eye on him. If you want to go over and sort of engage with him now, or if you just want to watch where he's going, let me
kind of
know.
want to. Yeah, not yet, but still kind of think building up the courage too.
Fantastic. Right. Bo, you're keeping an eye out on George. It's not the hardest tracking mission you ever had to do. Like, this is not someone who's trying to get away from anybody. As far as he's concerned, he's just back in town. Celebrations are happening. He kind of wants to be part of it. Just natural sort of traveling musician. An area. There's a party. There's a get together. There's an opportunity for a bit of coin. So.
I go to
Yeah.
I go to inspect the plaque of the statue. Just something to do.
Okay, cool. We'll come back to that in 1 second. Kay. Sorry, Rian.
Rian's also looking at the statue, but
Perfect.
she's gonna cast message in the statue's direction, just knowing it's going into the ether, and just kind of bow her head. She's still wearing that ceremonial headdress, and say thank you for standing up, friend.
Okay, so Claude and Rian are going to go over and check out the statue. Tommy, what do you want to do?
So the speech like kind of concluded and everything like that. Tommy is still trying to like get as much out of this as he can. So he kind of, as the talking kind of ends, he's definitely walking. He sees some of the rest of his crew kind of in the crowd and stuff. He's hamming people up to like drinks. I think drinks are in order, and he's trying to get as many people in the crowd around him going towards the bar, and he wants to be in the center of attention. Comes with like gifts and people buying you shit. He's trying to get people to buy him drinks and whatever he can. So he's very much hamming it up still. Like, why would a celebration end with just a speech to the closest bar or to the closest tavern? And he's just trying to like, he's kind of walking into the crowd to ham it up more.
Cool. And as with happens when you try to pass a message through a crowd, there's an element of basically Chinese whispers in it. And after a couple of seconds, all you start hearing people going is, "Oh, he says go to the bar. He's buying drinks for everybody. Hey, yeah, Tommy wants to go to the bar.
Tommy doesn't hear that part.
Tommy.
To the bar.
Drinks on Tommy. Tommy.
Drinks for Tommy. Drinks for Tommy.
And then with that it goes, drinks from Tommy. Drinks from Tommy. You know, and busy just over and over again. And this has really built up the excitement. And they're all rushing to the foolish captain. And just trying to jam through the door and climbing through windows. So that tavern is packed. And basically, as it goes along, there's a bit of a kerfuffle because people are basically trying to get their free drinks. Like, what do you mean? I'm not paying for this. Tommy's paying for it. You can just hear this build and sort of ruckus around the foolish captain.
Tommy is like hamming up the drinks and again kind of throws Cornelius to the bartender. He's like, Cornelius is definitely covered this one, everybody, let's go. And just like he'll start his night regardless if that's true or not. Tommy doesn't think forward, he thinks right now, and now there's booze flowing. So
At this time, you're starting to think, I wonder how many beers 5 platinum coins are going to get me, and how long is this really going to last? We don't quite know, but everyone's having a really, really good time. The only guy who's not having a really good time is still stumbling around, and he's about to fall and collapse, is Beauregard, the dwarf, who's basically already completely wasted.
Tommy's also, and I will roll for it however many times you want. He's definitely doing crowd work, and for Tommy, crowd work is very much pickpocketing as there's so many people and stuff. Can I do like a little sleight of hand to just?
Of course, yeah. Let's do it with advantage because it's so packed and there's a lot of hustle and bustle and bumping in, so no one's really going to sort of notice someone else touching them. And sort of as they go along, that's absolutely fine.
We always know how advantage goes for me. Thank goodness for advantage. That's going to be a 26.
Okay, fantastic. Basically, as you go around and you're sort of pickpocketing people, are you really just looking for coins, or is it more of a you're looking for other things? What? Because I imagine you're not necessarily just sticking your hand in people's pocket and hoping to see what you find. Maybe you are, but what are you finding, or what are you looking for?
Tommy loves coins, and Tommy loves information. So if there's any paper that I'm pulling out that has any about anybody, good or bad, Tommy loves to have the know, because having information gets Tommy out of situations at times. So
perfect. Okay, so before we go back to the sign, basically you do find a couple of things. Yeah, you actually did quite well. So in amongst the people, basically you got 3 gold coins.
Okay.
You got 5 silver coins because you're basically working your way through the crowd. Yep.
Okay.
And then in amongst it, you also found 2 like flyers. Okay. Basically scrolled up. They don't look particularly fancy or anything. Just with advertisements. One is for a performance later on. There's a musician called Porter coming into town, and you see the note and it just says an experience like never before, and the other one is for a poster for an event coming up, which I know that Storm will recognize, but Tommy doesn't recognize. So basically it's for a flyer for a traveling circus, Freaky Deeks traveling circus. Is basically somewhere in the area, and you get like there's a map on the back of it with just some stops of where things are. So yeah, they're basically the 2 sort of things that you find as you're going along.
Okay. Tommy definitely is grabbing and pocketing, drinking in and smoozing, and he's living up his best pirate life right now. Yeah.
Basically, as you're working your way through, and you're letting people be distracted or whatever, and the only other person that who walks right up to you as well is a very enthusiastic Mary Elray. She's basically pursued you into the bar. She's following you into the bar, and you get the feeling she's like she's an old sea captain. This is being in a bar. There's no sort of airs and graces about her. She's rough and ready. Anyone sort of bumps into her, you can see her gives her a big shoulder back to people. There's no delicacy or delicateness about her. She's comfortable in this environment as well, and she's basically tracking you. She hasn't got to you yet, but you can sense that she's following you. Basically, with your sort of sleight of hand, part of that is knowing when to do stuff, because you know when people are looking at you, when people are looking away from you, and part of that is knowing that this woman is clearly following you still. You get the feeling it's probably not the first time she's done that either. So
Tommy's very much doing like when you see a magician take somebody's watch, the very like to point over here, distract, shake hand, like he's doing very much that as he's interacting with people and taking stuff. I also definitely would have made I would have tried to see if Asir, my big fist bumping buddy, would have come to the tavern with me, even if he can't fit in, if he's standing outside. Tommy would if if you allow him to come along. Tommy would definitely be like popping out, checking on him, trying to give him drinks too, because I don't know if he can or can't, but like I would have tried.
So Aesir, your fist bumping buddy, he is actually outside the bar. He's basically him and Larix. They're both outside the window. So Aesir's right at the window, outside the building. Obviously, he can't fit inside it. He's too big. He's sitting down, but he's looking. So while Larix is still, quite stoic and uptight, and he's got the shield around him, Aesir is clearly sad. Like he's like kind of hunched over and just almost like a toddler a little bit. He's sitting down, the knees are up in front of him. He's just kind of sitting there. Any sort of birds and bugs or whatever that's on his face. The weeds and the seaweed that kind of make up his features and stuff. They're all sort of pointed downwards over.
Tommy,
not a lot of movement in there. So yeah.
Tommy at some point would have stepped out and been like, "Buddy, I know that's a tough loss for you. We all had a lot of respect for Danu."
Yeah, so basically, he's right at the window. So probably one of the easiest things for you is while you're still in the building, is just go to the window.
Okay.
So I'm imagine like him kind of like sitting at the window, kind of leaning over to be able to look inside it or whatever. But he's not really too concerned with what's going on in the building. He just looks very sad.
Yeah, I think Tommy would have stepped out. At some point, Tommy would have needed a little bit of fresh air if it's super crowded there. So he would have stepped out. He would have gone up to him and kind of like put a hand on him and said something of kind words of like, I know it's a tough loss to lose someone important to you, but he was probably the biggest part of all of us still being here to this day. I know you need your time. I'll set like a goblet of beer or something down beside him. I don't know if you can have that or not, man, but it might help you out. And Tommy will go back into the festivities.
Whenever you put the beer down, basically any sort of bugs and bees and things that are in amongst his sort of physical nature, they're the things probably more attracted to the beer. So there you can see them kind of buzz down and right. Cool. Right. So Tell, did you go to the bar? Did you go to the sign? Are you sticking with Bodok at the main ceremony area? What are you thinking?
You're muted, champ.
Tell, you good? Yeah.
Sorry, I had stepped away for a minute.
You're good.
No, I just want to enjoy like peace and quiet for a little bit and just walk around the town and enjoy the snowfall and kind of be by myself and reflect on everything. And I think eventually I want to go back to the bar, but right now I just want to enjoy kind of the cold and walking around in my own thoughts and just chilling.
As you're walking around, one of the things you notice is there's a lot fewer guards in the town. That's been one of the sort of biggest impacts in terms of the administration of the city, because quite a few of them were naturally involved with Nelson Marcel, that sort of element. So there's fewer guards on the street, and the couple that you do see every so often, they'll walk up to a notice board and they're basically pulling down your wanted poster.
Oh, nice.
They're not even noticing that you're there. You just kind of get the feeling they've been asked to do this. So the Viator posters are being pulled down.
Yeah, definitely not me. Viator.
No, definitely not. No, Viator. Yeah, because you don't even look like he has like a purple cape, and you have like green and red, and no bells on your hat, and all that sort of cool stuff. You don't look anything alike. So Viator's old posters are being removed.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, fantastic. As you're walking around, basically you're kind of noticing a few shops and buildings in amongst the town. You can see a couple of characters outside some of the buildings, and people seem to be waiting around, but not a lot of stuff is happening. There's quite a few people outside a blacksmith's in the area. There is there's an orc character who's like almost desperately trying to offer people walking past something, but no one's taking him up on that offer. As he goes along, you can see him a bit, almost slightly desperate, slightly sad. He's not shouting at anybody. He's not getting angry. So that's happening in the area, and a few other people are from their houses and other sort of buildings. They're kind of looking a little bit lost, like something's, they're not able to do what they would want to do or what they've planned to do today, and it's not just because of the celebrations. So, couple of bits pieces that you sort of notice as you're walking along, as you're enjoying the sun and the little bit of sun, but it's more cloudy, a little bit of snow, and just a few wee snowflakes kind of dropping onto your hat, onto your shoes. Not enough that would actually, as I said, it's not going to lay. You're starting to walk around. It's getting a little bit slushy under your feet because as there's traffic walking around, especially in amongst this area as you just go past the tavern itself.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out which door I want to go down. But I think the orc, I want to see what he's offering. I want to talk to him.
Okay, so basically, as you walk down the street, you see this orc in quite a tall hat, and he's outside a shop that you recognize. So it's the Flower in Bloom Bakery. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as you are walking along, there's so many things that could happen today. I wanted lots of options. Okay, so there's an orc who's outside the Flower in Bloom Bakery. Last time you were here, you were investigating a murder. And there's a banner outside the Flower in Bloom Bakery. You can tell the signage is kind of starting to come down, but there's no name on it yet. And there's a roughly scrawled, like almost like a bed sheet of a sign that says under new being NU owner, under new owner. Yeah. So, and he's outside and he's got these cupcakes and he's got them in the pan and he's trying to basically get people to try them. And he's like, cupcake, cupcake, we got new owner, no fingers, guaranteed, no fingers in cupcakes, and no poison birthday cake. No poison. Unless you ask for it. It can be made for special order.
Hey, that's just great customer service.
Thank you. Would you like cupcake?
I will take a cupcake.
Okay, fantastic. What's your favorite cupcake flavor?
I do like chocolate.
Okay, fantastic. So basically, there is chocolate in here, and you take a bite of it, and it's really tasty for a moment. But eventually, it starts to get really sour, and then there's all sorts of other different flavors. Now, you're not getting sick or anything, but you're basically find that there's a unique combination of flavors in here that normal, let's call them human bakers, or people who are used to baking for this type of audience, wouldn't combine. It goes, yes, I recently used chocolate in recipe. You think good?
It's a little tart, but it's good.
Good. It's good. Persuasion or performance check, please. Because he's looking right at you. He's trying to get your opinion.
Okay, hold on. The both zeros. Doesn't matter. Performance.
Yep.
4.
Okay. You really can't hide because you're almost going as you can eat it, and he goes, yes. See, Red Hoof idea is we near water, so I put fish in cake, and then add chocolate. Huh? Huh? So many fish. Previous owner used poison, I think. I use fish.
I think he did too. Fish is definitely better.
I think so. So you like fish cakes?
To the alternative, yes.
Me too.
Great.
Yeah. Tell friends. Red Hoof. And because you first customer, you come back, and we think of name for new bakery. Okay. Here, take more. And he basically forcibly hands you about 4. But he basically hands you the rest of the tray because you're the first person who's taken any. And you like it. He goes, little bit tart. Okay. That must be too much chocolate. I take advice. Take away chocolate.
I mean, okay. Chocolate might be okay. Maybe less. I don't know, less fish. Maybe 0 fish, probably.
I think I should take out fish bones.
Yeah, no bones. No.
Yeah.
Unless you're making it for yourself. You like bones? Hey, keep those in there. But I think
no. Red Hoof like fish. I make it for people.
Oh well, I mean
they like fish. At that moment when you're trying to talk to him, one of those wee fish bones kind of gets slightly caught in your throat a little bit.
So I'm concerned about allergies. So maybe some people may have a fish allergy.
You know any support animals?
Yes.
Maybe support animal, keep people safe. I don't know. I thought it strange to use the fish eyes and the bones with the baking.
Yeah.
But people like fish. And,
where'd you get this recipe?
You might be surprised. First time cook fish.
Wow. I can't tell at all. This just, I mean,
next time I might cook fish before I put in cake.
Maybe separate from the cake would probably. You could cook fish and cake. Could we do a fish and maybe like a fish and chip shop and a bakery separate? Separate the two since you like to cook fish.
Chocolate
and fish. We'll come up with a name and it'll be great.
Okay. Right. So, no raw fish with chocolate in cake.
Yes, you nailed it.
Cool.
You're on to something there.
Yeah. Tell, can you do a Constitution saving throw for me? Because that raw fish is now starting to hit you.
Hold on. 8.
Yeah, your stomach's kind of starting to rumble. Yeah.
Well, let me. I'm gonna shake his hand as I'm turning green, and we'll be back. I promise. We're gonna help you, and then walk away really fast so he doesn't see me.
Tell friends.
We'll tell friends.
Yeah, I maybe try chips next time with chocolate. Okay. Basically, yeah, and you basically walk away, and he's so excited. There's like someone took cakes, and he runs back inside. And the only thing you see as he's running back out of the bakery is that he's got a fishing net with him. Because you can tell he's basically going to get more ingredients. Okay. Yeah. So basically, as you're kind of like almost quickly walking by, you've seen things like people moving some furniture outside of houses, and they're complaining about leaks on their new roof. The blacksmith is having to kind of argue with a few people on the other side of the road, and you get the feeling orders aren't being done on time, and basically just general sort of hustle and bustle as you go along.
I'm gonna find a quick alley to throw up real quick. Get this out of us, just in case.
Yeah, cool. The alley you knew about was the same one that Bo fell down into out of the window, but that's also the same one that Red Hoof was ran down with the fishing net. So you can get the feeling there's might not be the best one to go down. But yeah, there's plenty of alleyways along the way, and you've got 5 other cupcakes with you on the tray. So yeah, it's up to you.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and store those. I'll think of something to do with them. I don't want to waste them. But yeah, I'll take a right down a valley and just quickly throw up.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, good. Yeah, so you're there, you're in the alleyway, and no one's really kind of paying attention to you as well. It's a bit of a party atmosphere, and people are still going about their business. You went down the alleyway enough that you got sick, and that's fine. If you didn't get sick, it would have came out the other way. So at least better out than in. So yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Tel, after you have saved yourself from other digestive issues in the past, is there anything else that you want to do at the moment?
I do want to do stuff, but I gotta let my dog in real quick. So we'll move on. Let me finish throwing up, and then we'll.
Yeah, we come back to you whenever you're ready. Okay, cool. Right, Claude and Rian. As you are basically walking towards the sign, you can see there's a lot of commotion at the bar. You can see Lorix and Aesir. Aesir is sadly sitting outside one of the windows. A lot of buzzing around him. Basically, there's like a beer has been set down on the ground near him. You're not quite sure where Beauregard or Boduk has gone. Beauregard, he left earlier on. And Tel had also left down the way. And as you're walking along, you don't know it's him, but you do hear a very like way down the street, but just more of a kind of hear that in the background. Okay, so you're making your way towards the Danu plaque. So imagine Danu, you're coming from behind the statue, and Danu's facing out towards the port and towards the rest of the town. So the plaque you're looking for would be on the other side of that, at the front. You want to take a look at the plaque?
Yeah, I go around to read what it says.
The contribution was a bit of a strange request at Cornelius, but at the end of the day, you guys did save the town, and he got the feeling that when he was told this, or at least he had the orders passed to him, so he doesn't know which of the 5 of you basically came up with this or provided this particular quote, but he thought it must be a heartfelt, at least inside term of endearment for you all. And now forever emblazoned underneath his beautiful statue is Danu. He grew up hair and got off his ass to save us all, and he did so like a true hero. Yeah. In this somber moment that you both have, that is interrupted as you both realize the hell is on that, and you can see other people walking past you going like they're kind of looking at it and okay, but they're like, okay, well, it must mean something. You have a few sort of hipster types at the back. It goes, yeah, but can't you see? It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for what he meant for us. and then someone else going, yes, I particularly like the way they deconstructed the concept of being a hero and made it more grounded, and basically just all that sort of other hipster waffle that they're going along, because they're trying to read into they know they're feeling a bit insecure because they're on the outside they don't get it, but there's other people get it less than them because they can see the true meaning in this powerful message. Yes, indeed. And they go and they adjust their glasses and basically take down some notes in their notepad and just go, and you just hear them walking away, just going, powerful words, powerful. So you guys have found the statue and you're paying your respect to Danu in that's way you know how. Actually, here is yeah, sorry, okay. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Did I hard mute? Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Rian just puts a fist over her chest and gives a warrior salute. And just like, yes, he did what he was asked, and I respect him for getting off his ass.
Getting off his ass. He grew a pair, took responsibility, and did what he could to rectify the situation. Yeah. So there you go. You paid your respects to Danny. Sorry, Claude.
Claude just sarcastically goes, "Who knows what would have happened if it weren't for your smart mouth, huh?"
I mean, sometimes people just need a little inspiration.
You should be a bard.
A little call to action to remind them that they can contribute.
Well, then I guess this whole town should thank you and him both.
How are you doing? I know it's been a few weeks since your dead mom came back and then left again, and your dad, and Rian's trying to be comforting, but like kind of just stumbling around it. Like, are you good?
I appreciate that. I'd almost forgotten.
Oh, I'm sorry to bring it up again. Then maybe.
It's okay. I just don't know where to go from here. It's a lot to recover from. I should go talk to my brother. I haven't seen him in a while.
Claude, basically at that point, what you're thinking about is that you're thinking about it's been a while. You've spoken to Rickard, relatively regularly throughout this process because you've kind of been looking after him. He's almost kind of been sort of very withdrawn, quite shut down. A little bit of his sort of false bravado is gone. When he's trying to put on a show. You think back to whenever you first entered Daggerford and people were kind of pleasantly paying attention to him as you were walking through the town. And you get the feeling he's very withdrawn at the moment. People are avoiding him. And that you also... How many times have you went to see your dad in the prison, in the jail cell since the event? Have you ever went to see him? Have you gone a couple of times? What do you think?
I probably haven't. I don't think after seeing my mom, if it hadn't been for that, then maybe I would have still had some anger, but now it's just a hollowness. Not really like the desire to connect with that anymore.
Yeah. So you do know where he is. Rickard's not in jail. But if anything, Nelson's almost been guarded from the backlash of this because no one's seeing him. He's under relatively high security, relatively strict security, so he doesn't really interact with anybody. What you've probably been most disappointed by is seeing Rickard almost have to take. You've had to take a little bit of this sort of public backlash as well, but with you being with the party and actually being involved in the rescue, no one sort of outright comes up to you and gives you abuse. You do get the feeling sometimes that whenever you're not around, Rickard gets a little bit of abuse. People are a little bit more false brave when you're not around, to kind of stick it to him. Yeah.
Is the keep still there? The manor or whatever?
Yeah, the house is there. But a couple of the windows have had to be boarded up because there's broken glass, and you can tell people kind of throwing stuff through the glass, and and like eggs and stuff being thrown at the door. So it's definitely a little bit of an outcast appearance from the front of it, but no actual significant damage. The steps on the way up to the door are a little bit warped because they got covered in so much water. It's just wooden steps and stuff, so they're a little bit warped and they squeak when you go up to them, but the house is still there.
Right. I guess after this, I want to head back to do research there.
Classic. So you've got that beautiful ornate wood statue for Danu, the metallic plaque at the bottom, and sort of you can tell there's a few hammer marks where, like, obviously because it's been made with metal, while the ornate wood is sort of more varnish and rigid to be able to withstand the weather for that.
Actually, before we go, I'll ask not Kale. Sorry, I'm blanking.
Rian?
Yeah.
Rian. Yeah, I kept thinking your other character from our other. Sorry.
Wait, you're cheating on me with other D&D DMs? Oh my god!
The truth comes out.
We have one other campaign.
I thought I smelled other dice on you.
Just the one. Oh my god.
Just one. I swear there's only one other.
It meant nothing to me. Oh my god, I swear. I was thinking about Claude the whole time. Yeah. Yeah.
My head is not all there. Yeah. I'll ask Rian how she's doing since... how are you doing since your encounter with your... She was a god, Cassera?
Yep.
I think we probably are on some similar ground, unsure where to go from here, and I'm not really sure I feel fulfilled. My whole tribe is still gone. The only family I know might still exist is Mother, but Air Genasi in general don't generally meet their elemental parents. I don't know if I have anyone left other than you guys. And Tobin.
At that point, Jarvis's kid runs up from behind you and gives you a big giant bear hug around the legs. He's only sort of waist high onto you, and he goes, "You've got me, Auntie Rian. You've got me, Auntie Rian."
That's great, and just trying to gently peel his arms off. Auntie Rian doesn't. Remember, I can be a little shocky, so we do air hugs. Air hugs.
Yeah, and the kid just goes, "Oh yeah, my hair was standing on end for a week after my last surprise hug I gave you." So yeah. So yes, he's there, and Jarvis and his wife basically come along, and Jarvis knows kind of not to sort of push you into talking. He knows you'll sort of say when you need to say stuff, and just ask this kid, to come along now, and I'm gonna get you to bed now. You've had way too much sugar today. We got to say goodbye to Auntie Rian, and and the kid goes, "Bye, Auntie Rian. Bye." You be there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, and just you can tell. He was almost kind of going to sort of touch your shoulder, but it's like, yeah, dude. yeah, come on now. And basically him, the kid, and his wife have just sort of walking in the direction that would be of their house. Their sort of they thankfully, as part of the other sort of refugees came in, there was temporary accommodation for a good couple of weeks after that. They're sort of just getting settled into their new place as they go along. So you've been there, you've visited, so you know where it is if you wanted to go there. But that's just the direction they're walking to. So
I think Rian is concerned about the party that
yeah.
I know that Tommy was wandering off to drinks, and that never generally ends well. So I might head back that way.
Yeah, plus you just heard Jarvis talking about getting the kid to bed and stuff, so you don't really have any sort of real impetus to go to the house. There's nothing that you can think of at the moment as a reason to go there. So yeah, that's kind of why that's as opposed to having to explain why do I not follow him. You've got some reasons why you want. Yeah. So you're kind of using that as like, the kid's going to bed and don't want to disturb him or whatever, and yeah, you're making your way towards the bar. Okay. I assume Claude's going to go with you.
I'll go with.
I just thought that accidentally really sounded like a teacher talking to a kid who wasn't paying attention. I was just I was like, and Mr. Claude, what do you have to say?
I was going to say anything
shared with the class. Yeah.
Trying to get our dog to stop barking.
That's okay. Okay. Bo, we're going to come back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to Bo would like to approach George.
Yep. Okay, cool. So George is there. George is kind of he's taking a corner seat. He's like yourself. He's identified where the foot traffic is going, and basically at the side there, and he's playing away and kind of doing different little songs. Nothing original. They're all covers. None of them are original.
Where did he end up? Did he go back to the bar, or is he out still in the streets?
He's on the streets. He's in the direction of the bar, but that's just because that's where the foot traffic was going.
Yeah.
So if he's hoping to make a little bit of coin, he's basically got like a cap or a little bag at the front of him, and he's playing some local tunes and just trying to take anything that he can.
I'm going to approach George. I have a bone to pick with you. What is this loot? Ever since I won it from you, I keep hearing voices and crazy shit keeps happening whenever I would normally be able to cast my magic. I've gone blind. I couldn't speak in other than rhymes.
In there.
What? In there?
The rhyming one like always happens at like the worst possible time.
Like when you're trying to speak to a person who can't even speak.
I haven't had that one personally, but common is also not my first language. So being forced to rhyme in a language that's not your native tongue is especially difficult. So yeah.
That's actually very impressive. If you can pull that off.
Thank you. And you I think you didn't pass out, did you?
Pass out from?
Yeah, sex, drugs, and banjo. Man, that one got me really bad. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. And then there was Sleepy. I hated Sleepy. Just made me so slow.
Like it's Sleepy.
Yeah, like I was trying to do a performance, and I got really slow, and everyone was booing me, and I was like,
"Sounds like performer's nightmare." What about Everybody Look at Me? Have you ever heard that? You ever
Look at Me? Look at Me was probably the best tips I ever got, which actually was like my first performance with it. Whenever I won the banjo, from. So yeah, you as you can imagine, you can only pass it on if it's one from you, and you can't even throw the competition. Like, you actually have to be beaten by somebody because the banjo is looking for the best player that it can. You've an idea how many times I try to set up, dueling banjos or dueling instruments just to intentionally lose, and it never bloody lets me. I had to actually get beat by someone who's better than me. That was the only way I could get rid of it. So take it as a compliment, brother. Come on, congrats.
Where did this thing come from?
I didn't make you bet the banjo. I gave you the offer and you accepted it. It's like,
that's like entrapment. You knew you were cursing me.
Well, I admit that I played into the performer ego a little bit. How the hell do you think I got into the competition in the first place?
Who passed it to you?
His name was Nelson.
Nelson?
Yeah, Nelson. Yeah.
Nelson what? Where was he?
So, like I said, common's not my first tongue, so I just know him as Nelson. Like, you humans with your first and second name.
What's your native language?
Sorry?
What's your native language?
Not to be racist, but you can see the ears, right?
I mean, there's a few different...
It's not Dwarven, put it that way.
I knew an elf who he spoke Celestial. He didn't necessarily speak Elvish.
Did he only speak Celestial?
I don't know.
I think it's a pretty decent guess. He spoke Elvish.
He was.
You can tell he's getting sassy because like you are basically confronting him. So it's like he's trying. Bo, you're kind of scaring away the customers here. It's like, congratulations, you beat me. You're a better musician. Want the drums back? I'll give you the drums back. Like, I don't need to have anything in return. I'll give you the drum back if you want. If that'll
my drum back.
Yeah, he goes. Here you go. Here's the drum back. He just gives you the drum back. So like, you can tell his intention was not to get anything back. He just had to lose the banjo. So you've got your drums back.
This is. So you're saying I gotta get rid of this? I have to pass it off.
Yeah, I maybe you can.
You want to play?
No. I am retiring 1-1. One win, one loss, and I'm much happier about the loss than I am the win. I can tell you that. So I, thankfully, because I'm not really a magic user, it only happened a couple of times for me, so it was nowhere near as prevalent for me. But when it did, it was pretty badly timed. So maybe you can attune to it, or maybe someone else can look into that. I'm not technical when it comes to magic items.
It certainly has awoken something in me that I never thought.
Yeah, maybe you can become attuned to it. Maybe there's less bad things can happen, or maybe the good things are better. You ever get power chord? That one's awesome. Like, that was so powerful. I think my music literally knocked them off their feet. Oh wait, that's why they chased me out of town. Man. Oh, right, okay, but yeah.
So it sounds like, all right, George. You've been absolutely no help. I can't
Bo, I can tell you, I was not trying to be.
Well, at least you're honest. Got you there. You got a good quality there. So
yeah. Basically, he basically goes back to playing, and he's singing in Elvish this time. Most people don't understand it. It sounds lovely, but what few people do walk by, because even amongst the refugees, there's a couple of people who seemingly do understand Elvish, and they start laughing when they hear the Elvish, and they kind of look at you, and they kind of walk away. So it's like, but yeah, so a little bit of a giggle when they hear whatever's being said in Elvish. A quick look at you and kind of walk away, and they're giggling to themselves as they go along. So yeah,
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go back to the bar, contemplation, and try to figure out what I can do with this thing.
Yeah, and George just goes, "Congratulations again, buddy.
Yeah, well
done." Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you're basically going towards the bar area.
Mm-hmm.
As you're basically making your way towards the bar, whenever Tell is exiting whatever alleyway that he's in, he can chirp in and basically start talking to you as he meets you on the street. So whenever Tell is back, basically he can chip in and he can start talking to you as you meet him on the street. Okay? Cool.
Oh.
Back in the bar.
Hey, you gotta try these cupcakes. So I talked to an orc, and they created a new bakery, poison free, of course.
Poison free, my favorites.
Yeah. So, take a little bite and tell me what you think.
A little bite.
Yeah. Trust me. You want a little bite.
What's this icing made out of?
Chocolate, I think.
Chocolate? Okay.
Yep. It's definitely chocolate.
Is definitely chocolate.
Yeah.
He's gonna peel the wrapper away, and he's gonna give it a little sniff, and then just not gonna think too much about it, and just take a nice bite, like a normal bite, not a small bite, just a nice.
That chocolate taste in your mouth is really, really sweet. But you're starting to realize, is it sickeningly sweet? And did something stab my gum? What is that? You know, and all of a sudden you're like, and there's something kind of rolling around in your tongue. It's a little bit squidgy, like a little circle. It's kind of squidgy. It's in your mouth, and you try and figure out, do I swallow that down? Like, is it a cherry? Like, it's kind of got the texture of like a cherry. It's kind of soft. Are you swallowing that? Are you?
No, he's
taking it anyway. You're gonna spit it out. Okay, cool. So basically, as you spit it out, you look down, and there's basically just there's this fish eye in your hand. Well, it's a small eye, and you're assuming with the texture and all, it's smeared in chocolate, which is true. And yes, you've got a chocolate covered fish eye.
What the hell is this?
It was pretty good, right? Besides the fisheye, I think they're onto something.
I guess the icing. Why are there bones in it?
All right, so they use fish, but it's not bad besides the fish, right? So I think we should go back. They don't have a name, so we got to come up with a name. But I think the cupcakes are pretty good if we can get them to remove the fish.
This was the worst cupcake I've ever had in my life. This is not a cupcake.
I'm the kind of guy who sees the positive things in life. You know, I've had a lot happen, and I try to find the positives. And I think minus the fish, it's pretty good.
It didn't even taste cooked. That eye was squishy.
Yeah, but if it was, though, it'd be pretty good.
Bones are not substitute for walnuts.
It's good calcium, at least.
Not substitutes for chocolate chips.
Anyway,
you can imagine what ice cream was made of. Yeah, it was cream, but like
as you're walking by, basically you see this large orc, and he comes by, and he's got a net, and in the net there's some fish in it, and one of the fish falls out of the net onto the ground and kind of rolls about a little bit in the dirt, and you can see the orc just walks over and picks up and goes basically he goes into his bakery. He he's not like he's walking right past you guys. You can kind of just see him, and he stands out. He's an orc with fish and a baker's hat on. And he's going to.
That's him. That's the baker. Go tell him you don't like it.
I don't know if I can.
Exactly. But okay, so we got the framework. They're turning the bakery around. Like I said, he's got a bunch of fish. We've got to stop him from putting those into the cupcakes. My idea is that we separate it out. We go a fish and chip and a bakery. What do you think?
Fish and chip cupcakes. I mean, I think it could work.
Yeah, we'll workshop a name, but I have one brewing, and I'll reveal it once we get the group together. But I think they could be something special, and that we can go back and enjoy delicious cupcakes minus fish or fish and chips. You know.
I mean, I'm not to fish, but it can't be. You got to give a man warning.
If I told you there was fish in it, would you have taken a bite?
Less. I'd be more hesitant, but I would at least try it.
Well, you did it, and I'm proud of you. And we've got a few more of these, but we can save it. So if you think we could use these for something else, we'll definitely do that. We'll find a buyer.
I'll leave that up to you. They're your cupcakes. I want no part of those.
Okay.
I want nothing.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you're in the street and you're walking along, and basically you can see the commotion at the bar and other sort of things else happening around you. What do you guys want to do? Otherwise, we'll go back to Tommy in the bar.
Do you want to check out this blacksmith? It sounds like he's arguing with somebody out there. And then we can see what's going on. Maybe
Sure.
get some upgrade weapons, maybe?
I mean, I was thinking about heading back to the bar to see what's going on, the commotion going on over there. But I mean, I'll tag along with you. We can go see the blacksmith.
Okay. So I'm going to walk up to the blacksmith and see what's going on. He said something about his deliveries, and I just want to see if we can help in any way. So I go talk to the blacksmith.
Awesome. Basically, as you're walking, you take the lead on that, and as you're doing that, Bo is basically rifling around inside his mouth trying to get that bone that got jammed into his gum. Yeah.
As we're walking, I just want to say sorry. I didn't think it was going to be that bad for you.
Sounds like you actually kind of maybe slightly enjoyed it. I mean, you seem like you came out with a positive outlook.
Yeah. You just got to see the positive and the negative, you know?
Yeah. I guess maybe I felt like you started with it wasn't poisoned, but you buried the lead.
No, I think I'd want to know stuff is not poisoned before I eat them, but that's just magical, omnipotent DM voice coming in. So yeah. So
considering the background of this bakery, the history of this bakery, I wanted to give you a heads up that it wasn't poisonous, but at least it was better than poisonous cake, you know?
I guess it was better than poisonous cake. You got me there.
Hey, there you go. You're seeing the positive. All right, so we'll walk over to the blacksmith and I ask him what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. So as you walk over towards the blacksmith, there's a few people around him, and you can kind of see he's almost desperately trying to argue against them all at the same time. It's not a highly aggressive argument, but it's people just increasingly frustrated. Where's my? You said it was going to be. Well, a lot of people basically dissatisfied with orders not being met, and sort of people coming and going. You said you'd fix my roof, and all sorts of complaints as they go along. So as you're walking along, he's basically engaged with like 3 or 4 different bystanders.
So I asked the blacksmith. I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Is there anything we can help you with?"
Right. Just excuse me, sir. I'm dealing with these things. Like I've got whatever it is that you're looking for. I'll try to get to it as quick as I possibly can. It's just I've said to everyone else, like I haven't been able to work. You know, look at my shop. You know, how am I supposed to do anything here?
What happened to your shop?
Right, well, first of all, my leather apron is gone. So can't expect me to be clanging and banging without protective gear on. Okay, and then look at my hammers, look at my tongs, everything. All of the wooden handles are gone. Like there's just a hammer head there, like just the head of the hammer. It's gone. The pliers I had, that's just the metal part. You can't hold them without the wooden handle. It's gonna burn my hand. Like I can't do it. Like if my leather parts are gone, like you can see people's pieces are halfway being made. You know, I'm trying to fix this guy's roof. He recently got natural stone slates put onto his building, you know, as opposed to everyone else's sort of more structured buildings. Oh, it'd be a nice aesthetic. Fantastic. Well, now a couple of the slates are missing. It's really beautiful natural stone, but a couple of the slates are missing. Now it's like leaking into his house. You know, the snow is starting to get in. You can see it coming in there. That Gatway points basically to a house across the street. Go see that one over there? No, not the Marcel thing. The one over there. And he's pointing out, and you can see there's patches in the roof that are missing of these some particular stone slates that are missing. You know, and you can hear other people kind of as they're walking along, and they're going, yeah, you know, a couple of stuff's mine's gone missing too, as they're sort of walking past and things. So, yeah. So basically, I'm trying to get to the orders as best I can, but like, even if it was thieves, who takes the handle of the hammer? Like, you've got the apron. Like, what the hell?
When did it disappear?
The apron.
Just today?
Well, no, it's been bits and pieces over the last, I don't know, say couple of weeks. You know, like you think you misplaced something, and then it's like, oh, I think I've misplaced my hammer, and then you find the head of the hammer, you know, or you come into work one morning, you're like, right, just gotta stick on my apron. The apron's gone, and you know his house over there. That was what, 2 nights ago now, and it's just I'm trying to get to it as best I can. So please accept my apologies. Like it's not like I don't want to work. I just realized George is still on the screen here because I actually have a blacksmith.
Okay, I thought this was all impromptu.
Yeah, no. Impromptu. Yeah. So basically, everything you can kind of see on him is like metal. You know, so
so they took all the wood, no metal.
They took the apron as well. That's leather. So, well, didn't take the metal work or these new fabrics. You know, they're just like, you know, they're artificial fabrics. You know, I thought they were kind of nice. You know, but it's not like it's not like genuine real leather. You know, or cloth, etc. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on, and yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to get around to it. Please be patient as much as you can. I'm very, very sorry.
Were there any termites that you have wronged lately?
And you can tell this blacksmith is like he's not really reading any sort of emotions from you. So like he's taking everything you're saying as perfectly serious. Termites. Wait. No. That's it. Wait. Yeah, but no, but they wouldn't take the apron. Yeah, so no, I don't think so. I don't think I annoyed any termites.
Is there another blacksmith in town? One that you might have beef with?
Oh no. I've been here for years, and I pay my suppliers, and I have good customers, and they come back, and I do some like even horseshoes. I can't do a lot of jobs on the thing, as you can see, like house repairs and horseshoes over at the stables, and even just fixing up some of the ships, and so.
Some of the ships, huh?
Yeah. Well, it is a port town, Yeah. It'd be kind of silly not to cater for that particular type of clientele.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, even exporting, some of the goods, some of the, like sort of shields and things that I have, but I can't. I've got so much stock tied up and unfinished. And you can't even really make like proper like metal handles because it's too heavy and no one can really swing them.
Yeah.
No one's going to pay money for a wooden shield. It just breaks. It defeats the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So let me ask you: do you have any scrap leather? I do have some tools on me. I can whip you up an apron, and we can solve that problem.
I have a little bit. So yeah, I have a little bit in the back. I've been trying to be a bit more creative with my security recently, so I've kind of hid it in this other. And there's basically a metal trunk in the back of the shop, and it's got a little bit of leather in there. So
smart. Yeah. If you can bring me out some pieces, I can whip you up an apron, and we can solve that problem. And then I may know of some people that can provide some wood for you, so we can get your handles back on.
I'd be most grateful, sir. Just let me finish talking to these customers. In fact, you know what? You seem like a good guy. The crates in the back of the shop, you can just see it right there. It's not a large shop. It's more like a stall, as you saw in the rest of the town as well. So it's a large stall, and you can tell some of the, as you're going along as well. One part of the canvas sheet that's above it is flailing up into the air with a little bit of wind, and he goes, "Oh, just watch out for that. The ropes are, I've got less ropes recently as well. I would normally ties that down. So I literally had to take a pin, like a metal pin, and spike it and just put it into the frame of it. That's the only way I'm getting any of this held down. So yeah, it's in the back. If you don't mind, sir, that would be much appreciated."
Bo, do you have any extra rope on you?
Rope? Let me check. I got some fishing line, but no rope. I don't think so.
So probably the only thing you can think of there, just when you're thinking of that tale, is that the fishing line might do work for the stitching. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea. So we can go back to the bakery and see if we can grab some fishing line from them. But first, let's grab this leather, and then I'll stitch up some stuff for an apron for him.
I mean, I have fishing line, like I said. I got.
Oh, you do have fishing. Okay.
Yeah. I have got a fishing. I got my gear. A tackle.
Okay. Let's get this nailed down. We can let's string this up with some fishing line, and then we'll go in and get that leather, and I'll start working on an apron for him.
Sounds good.
So we'll tie it down.
What's gotten into you, buddy? You seem like you seem like you're in a upstanding citizen kind of mood.
I just feel good. We got recognized by everybody, and I just want to help out. I finally feel at home, and I haven't felt at home in a long time.
Wow. Quite benevolent. All right.
Good. Very good. Okay. So you guys, I'll pop back to Tommy in that at the moment, so you guys can sort of think about what you want to do next. Are you going to start working on that apron? So just while you're there?
Yeah. Is there any dice rolls or anything I have to do for that? I don't know how leather works.
No. I'm happy. It's an apron. It's not a particularly complex design, so I'm happy enough for that. There's no real pressure in this. You can kind of take a little bit of time. So when we come back to that, I imagine the apron basically be done. It's really cutting and a bit of stitching and sizing it up, so it's not going to take you too long.
Okay.
As a bit of a seamster yourself, with your previous cloak, and then the changes you made to your most recent costume, like expertly removing the bells. You've got experience with tailoring so far. So yeah, you're happy enough with that.
I'm basically a clothes surgeon at this point.
That's it. Tell me, you're in the bar. Well, you're on mute.
Tommy is definitely going around, getting as much drinks, taking drinks of other people like that are handing it to him, and just like very much living it up. He also does make an effort to continuously like go back to the barkeep, the tavern keep, and is like very what's the word? Being very friendly and nice to them, because there's, as you said, people mentioned about Tommy getting the drinks. I keep kind of deflecting off of it, so I keep going back to making sure I am very friendly with the barkeep, and I keep bringing up that, like, of course there has to be a fine reward for the people that saved an entire city, right? And I was like, you'll be able to take. The cut can come out of that, and I just like keep deflecting of I'm not paying right now, but I'm being friendly with him to let him know that he'll get it from whatever rewards coming our way.
And he's looking at you, he goes, I totally agree. In week 1, 2, 3, 4 months, like
it's coming. It's coming.
At this stage, you're kind of, living off that a little bit,
But the thing about that is, like, and then he turns, he's like, what do we do with a drunken sailor? And just like kind of walks away from that, just like is trying to get the crowd back up into it.
Yeah.
But now Tommy's strategy is definitely going to be at some point an Irish goodbye, where he's going to slide out the door at some point.
Good. Okay, cool. As you're basically doing that and getting people going, Mary Elray is up beside you again, and she basically just whispers into your ear, "Have you thought of a name for your ship yet?"
I mean, bouncing around a couple ideas.
Yeah, don't rush it. At the end of the day, it's an important thing, but it is bad luck to have a ship with no name, even if it was a bad one.
Yeah, I gotta find a way to really erase that former image. I'm thinking something like the Dragon Shadow or something that maybe gives a little nod to those that helped on that day, and he's just kind of like, he feels that around in his mouth, kind of wants to see what her opinion of that is.
Yeah, she basically looks at you and goes, "I keep brainstorming. It's always good to get second or third or other opinions. Just don't go with the first thing that comes to mind. It's
You're right.
Yeah.
And Tommy's really trying to think of stuff as he keeps like
yeah.
Go ahead.
What about her suggestion as you're sort of talking about that? You're gonna get her picture on the board here. You can kind of see as she's looking at you, and she just goes, and then she kind of puts her hand through her hair. What about the Silver Siren?
Silver Siren. Interesting.
Yeah.
Again, another one we could put on the list and keep working on ideas together. That's not bad.
Okay.
Tommy's not for it, but he's definitely being nice about
it. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Which is fine. So basically you can kind of see her in that kind of all she's really doing. She's just trying to keep your attention and going along, and there's you can kind of tell other people are coming up, but even while you're trying to talk to her, other people are coming and go, Tommy. Yeah. You should get Bo to play a song for us. And other people kind of walking along going, yeah, can you tell Rian that I want to try on her hat?
Yeah, that one definitely won't happen, bud. But sure, yeah, I would highly suggest you don't go close to her. And Tommy has like that look of like, thinking of her electricity.
Yeah. Do you sometimes when I walk around and I think she kind of looks sad, and I think she could do with a hug, you know?
Yeah, definitely don't want to do that one. Like distance. She's cool with air hugs, but like 20 feet away, if you do like this motion, she'll probably accept that.
Okay. Okay.
Do you need a hug?
No, I am.
Tommy puts his arms out. Do you need a hug?
What? What did you say?
Do you want a hug, buddy? Was it?
No.
Okay. All right.
I would like another drink though.
Yeah, go see the barkeep for sure.
You put it on your tab, yeah.
On the tab of the city, absolutely. Go let her know. Go let him know. I don't even know if I. Go let them know.
And there's no music playing, and he's just standing there going, I love this song. Yeah.
Maybe some fresh air. And Tommy like puts an arm around his shoulder and kind of starts guiding him out to the front. We might need to get a little bit of air for you before the next one.
He looks down at Beauregard on the ground past there and goes, that guy's a mess.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what they say about dwarves, right?
What do they say? Exactly. What? And I guide him out the front door.
Okay.
And I'm gonna sit him down. If there's a bench nearby, or literally just sit him on the ground, and definitely use this opportunity as my time to step away from the bar.
Okay. I got a cool name for your ship, though.
Okay, go ahead.
What?
Alrighty, I'll talk to you at some point. And Tommy is just walking away from him.
Okay. Thanks for the drinks, though.
Tommy waves over his shoulder. Tommy doesn't really have any plan of where he was gonna go though, because he just kind of walked away from the group. So yeah. I think in Tommy's head, his best idea is to go back to Claude's house. So okay. Tommy's making that direction, is thinking Claude will probably be there, or Claude's brother will be there, and that's a start.
Yeah. As you're kind of walking out at that point, basically Claude and Rain are coming towards the bar because that's where you were going. And further on down the street, you can see Bo and Tell in the middle of the street. Tell's got something in his hand though. He's holding something, or at least, sorry, Bo is holding this tray now, and you can kind of just see Tell banging away at something. So
I'll just kind of give like a very drunken wave kind of to both parties of like, hey, what's up everybody, and like just I guess I'll walk towards whichever group is closer, whichever the split of two is closer.
As you're walking away, the guy you were speaking to goes, do you need a sixth guy for your party?
Nope, we're good.
I'm sorry about what happened to Logan though. I'm really sorry. That was really...
Tommy will stop, turn to the guy, pull out one of his pistols, spin it around, and like, will point his pistol at him and say, "You don't speak that name." And then we'll spin it back, put it, and continue his walk.
Yeah, and that's probably for a split second. The guy seems sober, scared, and then goes back to it. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. And yeah, so basically what happened with Logan, the party sort of knows, so I can kind of bring you up to date with that. As you're sort of walking along, you're sort of remembering and trying to figure out exactly sort of what went wrong or what you think you could have done along the way. Okay, so basically, as the days and the weeks were progressing, you started to notice that Logon's skin was kind of looking quite grey, and the bags under his eyes were getting quite heavy. And it made you think back to the cloak. The cloak takes away an element of rest from him. So over time, he was basically becoming more and more exhausted. But what you also noticed that anytime you were together, the cloak kept trying to tug Logon away from you, and you weren't even convinced it was away from you. But the way the cloak kept trying to tug him away from danger or towards protection. So eventually Logon was getting more and more worried about this, and he's gotten the feeling that the cloak was potentially trying to help him by bringing him somewhere where he needed to go, so that he wouldn't suffer from the effects of the exhaustion for as long. And although you all tried to offer to help and look for different medicine and things like that, the connection he had with his cloak was too much, and it wouldn't let him. He wouldn't really want to be separated from it. So eventually, just one time in the night, the last you heard was a window opening and Logon's jump spell, sending him up into the sky along the rooftops, and basically just left in the middle of the night. So going where he thinks the cloak is bringing him to potentially get help. So he wanted to stick around, but he's always been that sort of character that's been on the move a lot of the time anyway. And he's basically following the cloak, but he is having negative health implications because of the continued exhaustion that came with wearing the cloak. So especially if you compare the 15 weeks, for example, compared to the time that you guys were together for a while, 15 weeks is a long time to be basically continuously, exhausted and not resting and never really feeling truly rested with that. So basically he's been gone about 5 or 6 weeks, but you kind of knew, although you want to go with him, you knew this was probably something he had to do on his own. Yeah.
I would say for Tommy, even though he knew why he left, still someone leaving, when you have a crew and someone leaves the crew, it feels personal. So that's why Tommy reacted in the way he just did now, which I just to pull things back.
Even to give you the drunk guy's perspective, like people would have seen him getting physically iller, but they wouldn't have known why, and they were sort of on the outside. So as far as they're concerned, they haven't seen him for a long time. So maybe he died, he got sick and haven't seen him in a while. So because he wouldn't have made it a big spectacle to leave and for everyone to see him, he would have slipped away, and he would have known that if he had have gone, he knows that if he had have tried to do it during the day, you guys would have followed him. So he did this because he knew that you guys would have followed, and he had to go on his own for now.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is what there's part of Tommy that
Tommy still takes that personally. I can understand the idea, the separation. I understand. So yeah.
So I guess he's a little on edge if people try to bring his name up. So you add booze in there, and he wanted to shut that down fast.
Yeah. So that kind of gives a little bit of perspective for people in that. How you react to that news, that's fine, but it basically keeps things open. If we need to, if we don't need to, as well as linking it in with everything that we know about Logon's character and the influences that they would have on him going forward.
Do Rian and Claude see this little altercation?
As you're walking around, you're basically seeing Tommy with the pistol out and then kind of spinning it back into the holster.
We should collect our friend. And Rian starts walking a little faster. Hey, Tommy.
Hey.
Why don't we go to bed?
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Okay, so you guys are there. Claude or Rian, is there anything you want to talk about with Tommy on the way there, or is it just more of a let's get back to the Marcel house, as well as walking past where Bo and Tel
are? I think Rian just knows how drunk Tommy is, so there's not much intellectual conversation going to be happening here.
Yeah, that's fine.
God, you never give Tommy a chance to be intellectual. No, I was kidding.
As you're walking away, Rain, you hear a very drunken voice behind you go, "Do you want a hug?"
I would ignore
No
that.
hugs here. No hugs.
Rain check. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Don't make sure it's not raining.
You. And passes out. So yeah. Okay. Cool. So you guys are walking along towards the Marcel house. I've just put that up onto the thing in case you guys are going there, because we're kind of in a point where that's standing. Tell, you are finishing up your new apron.
All right. So I finish it up. I want to gift it to him.
Yep.
And see what he says.
Awesome. Yeah. So basically, he's very thankful. He is very thankful. He appreciates the kindness that you've shown. It ultimately does still mean that he can't do anything else, but he knows at least he's safe for what he can do. He's trying to like hold the head of the hammer, and kind of bang things, but it's if it does it this way, it's going to take absolutely forever. But it's still better than nothing, and at least protects him from the heat of sort of furnaces and things that are around him.
Perfect. So that's a good start. So I know that we have a couple wooden friends, and they may be able to help you with your handles. They are in tune with nature, and maybe they can hook you up with some wood. So I want to try to make my way back to our wooden friends, Azure, and what's the other one?
Larix.
Yeah. And see if I can bring them to give us some wood. I don't know if they can grow their limbs like Groot or what.
Mm-hmm. That the 13-year-old in me is holding back on that obvious joke for as much as I can. But yeah, so basically, as you go along, you do see Larix and Aesir. They are outside the bar at the moment. Aesir's not paying attention to you. He's just sad. When you look at Aesir, you can't get the feeling he's more almost kind of moss and like vines and things. Larix is certainly more obviously wooden, or at least sort of structurally wooden. However, I could tell you now he's never been the chatty one amongst them. And the idea of basically asking him to basically break off a piece of himself and give it to you is not going to fly too well.
Okay. Can I bribe him? Can I do some kind of check? A charisma, maybe?
Persuasion, yeah.
Persuasion. So I kind of give him the story. The blacksmith, he has no wood. There's a wood thief around. He needs some tools so he can rebuild the town.
Okay. Yeah.
So I give him that. And then...
Perfect.
Oh my god. My rolls have been terrible today. 2.
So what happens is, as you're explaining this mid-sentence, you stop yourself from finishing the sentence, okay?
Okay.
Because you look up at his face, and you probably one of the first times you've really paid attention to him, because obviously you've had Danu generally nearby, or Tommy's messing about with Aesir, so you haven't really looked at Larix enough a lot of times, okay? And basically you see that his sort of the neck and his skull is obviously pretty much completely wooden. Okay. What would be his mouth and his eyes and his nose are just markings on a block of wood. So he doesn't actually have a working jaw or mandible. It's basically in a way his face is not painted on, but it's almost kind of scratched on.
Okay.
So even if he was going to say anything, he just kind of looks at you really blankly, and you get the feeling even the way the eyes are sort of scratched on. He's not actually looking at you. It's more like responding to to where the sound is coming from.
Okay.
So yeah, so he doesn't have so his facial expression never changes because it's just scratched onto wood.
All right. So I see I'm not getting through to you. It's like talking to a wooden wall. So let me talk to Azure, right? And so I want to go walk up to him, give him a fist bump.
Okay. Yeah, so he walks up and he's still quite sad. There's a lot of bees and wasps around you at the moment because there was a beer set down. Somebody set a beer down on the ground, and it's basically just attracted all of these insects around that. Okay. And he sees you go for the fist bump, and he does put out just very lazily, very sad, just a fist bump, and he lets you hit his fist with your fist, basically. Okay.
All right. So I'll do that, fist bump him, and then I'll kind of just like, is he sitting down?
Yep.
I'll sit down next to him, just be like, "What's going on, man? Can he speak?"
Yeah, this is the first time anyone says that, but yeah, he can speak, but it's very, very simple. As you can imagine as well, Common is not his first language. So it's although the orc has, let's call it like broken Common, the way he's talking, his is very simple. His aren't sentences. His just like sad.
I'm trying to think of how to simplify this. What's wrong?
And you can see he points at the big statue, the big wooden statue of Danu. So yeah.
So I just nod in agreement, and I'm just like, "Do you want to go look at the statue?"
I see.
What do you say? Sorry.
He says, "I see." So basically, where he is, he can just see it from where he is. Yeah.
Maybe. Did you? Do you want to say a prayer for Danu?
What prayer?
Just in remembrance, and basically try to talk to the spirits and see if we can become at peace.
How pray?
Just say what you feel. Bow your head and say how you feel.
So he's definitely recognizing this, and he looks down and he goes, "Sad, Danu dead."
I miss Danu too. He did a lot for us, and we're very thankful for him. And I kind of pat him on the back. And Danu is here with us in spirit. He'll always be here. He's here through all of us.
He looks at you and goes, which catches you off guard. He goes, "Tell."
Yes.
We couldn't quite hear it.
Oh, sorry. He says, "Thank you."
You're welcome, buddy. I don't ask him right away. I just want to kind of let the moment marinate a little bit, and we'll just sit together and talk about Danu. Tell me your favorite memory of Danu, or what did you like about Danu?
Danu, nice.
He is nice. Strong.
Again, raw.
Does he drink, or is there anything I can give him as a gift?
You haven't seen it yet. You get the feeling he is slightly lightening up because you've actually stayed to talk to him. You know, so if anything, probably what you're doing is more distracting him.
Okay.
You know, because as you can imagine, Larix over there is not exactly great company. He's not very talkative. He's not an expressive individual. So the fact that someone's actually, checking, he knows Tommy's coming out, but Tommy even, like he's drinking, and every time Tommy tries to talk to him, people are walking up to Tommy, and like Gas kind of interrupting the conversation a little bit, so he's not really getting any sort of one-on-one time with that. So the fact that you've actually, you're outside, you're sitting beside him and taking the time, he seems to be appreciating it.
Well, I just want to keep him company for a minute, and then we'll work on the other stuff.
That's okay. Cool. Right. So the other guys basically making their way towards the blacksmith. Bo, did you go with Tell, or did you sort of stick around with Tommy and Rain and Claude as they came?
I think I'm gonna catch. I'm gonna catch up with Tommy, Brienne, and Claude. Wish Tell best of luck in his helping the blacksmith.
Cool. Who has the cupcakes? Tell or Bo?
Tell has the cupcakes. I do not have the cup. I did not. Bo did not want those cupcakes.
Did you throw yours away, or did you give it back to me?
I mean, I threw mine away. The one you gave me, and that I ate, took a bite out of. I believe there's still 2 more.
Yeah, there's like 4 more. There was like 6 on the tray. So and then Tell had one. So let's say Bo's unfinished one, he basically put back onto the tray. And Tell, as you're looking around, the only thing that you've kind of noticed has distracted Aesir for now is he's looking at the cupcakes.
I didn't think about that. That's okay. So I noticed he's looking at the cupcakes, and I was like, "You like fish? Fish good?
Fish, yes.
Fish good? Chocolate? Not allergic?
Cocoa bean, chocolate, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Here, try one. It's delicious.
And
no
like
poison.
It's tiny. Yeah, it's like tiny in his hand, and he just goes.
Looks like those mini muffins. If you've ever had those, like
it's absolutely it's like absolutely tiny in his hand. So yeah, so he basically finishes off the one that Bo had taken a bite out of, and you can tell he's got he doesn't care about etiquette or germs or any of that sort of stuff. He doesn't care if someone's bitten into it. As far as he's concerned, this is what cupcakes always look like. Straight in.
I'll slide him another one since that one had a bite taken out of it.
Yeah, and he goes on. There's no sort of savoring. There's no nothing there, but you can tell he's liking it because he wants more. But you're not going to get super expressive. Ooh, rubbing his tummy and chef's kiss. Like he's not going to be that sort of level of expressive. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed those. There's plenty of more where that came from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll come back to that 1 second just to give you a little bit of a break on that. And yeah, so we've got Tommy, Bo, Claude, and Rian, pretty much outside the Marcel house.
Oh, what a night! What a night! This town loves us. We're heroes here. Nights like this are wonderful. They're great. They're so good. Man, we're so good. And like Tommy's like doing that, like rubbing people's shoulders and like back shaking them a little bit. Like, except he doesn't touch Rian. He doesn't touch. He's smart enough not to touch to put a hand on her at all. So, but then, like the other guys, he's like, what a night, what a night. I'm ready to call it and get some.
Have you guys ever had a fish cupcake?
That sounds pretty good. You got cupcakes?
I don't have
Didn't
cupcakes.
you drink a beer out of your boot the first night we met?
No, I would drink beer out of almost anything. It's a pirate's life for me, kind of thing. But anyway, Tommy's like very ready to like go in and like some shut eye sounds wonderful.
Do we have any plans for tomorrow? I feel like we've done everything here that and more that we meant to stop here for like a day or two, and Brian's getting a little antsy, having been in this town for so long and wanting to hit the road again, but not quite sure where to go since there's no real purpose yet. Does anybody else have any skeletons in their closet they want to take care of?
Well, I was gonna get something with George in my this loot. I don't know if it's really been bothering me lately. It's just been I don't know what to do about it.
What if
it sounds great.
What if we just break it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe actually, you know what? I think after the battle, I feel like I might have told them.
Yeah. I'd say it's pretty fair to go after this time. It's like, what the hell was happening? Like, do you remember the time you went invisible? And do you remember the time you couldn't speak in anything but rhymes? Or why the hell was everybody dancing on the ship? You know, like with their crazy happy feet. You know,
had battle him and he taunted everybody on him.
Everybody like, look at me. You know,
I can't. Apparently, it's a cursed loot, and I can't get rid of it. I have to battle someone for it the same way that I want it in a musical competition. But it's really. I don't know, he said something about attunement. I'm not quite sure.
Have you tried breaking it?
I haven't tried breaking it. Do you want to try to break it?
Do you hand it to Tommy?
I'm gonna hand it to Tommy.
Tommy tries to smash it on his knee.
I was gonna say it's a cursed item. Be careful.
Yeah. So Tommy, can you roll 2d8, please?
8. Oh, that's not the right one. There it is. You want to know the total of them or separately?
Total of them, please.
14.
Okay, very good. 14. Okay. All you hear is, oh fuck. Okay. Nope, I'm gonna do it. Okay. Tommy. All you hear is different animal.
Whoa! This shit just spoke to me too.
Yeah. Tommy, you. Oh, okay. In the middle of this town, you feel yourself about to turn into a werewolf.
Wait, hold on. The thing, like,
you basically get there. You fall down onto your knees,
oh,
on your hands and knees. Everyone thinks you're getting sort of sick or whatever. All of a sudden, your back starts to hunch up. Yeah. So with that, there you're gonna have basically you're gonna have a low chance. It's a Constitution saving throw, please.
Con save. 19.
Fuck. Okay. Good. Okay. You do contain yourself, thankfully. The back of your shirt is ripped because it did start to bulge out or whatever, and your shoes had started to feel really, really tight for a second. So yeah, thankfully you just contain it. You know it. Obviously, at the time you didn't know you were turning into a werewolf. But basically, that's physically what you felt. Everyone else just sees you drop down onto your knees and basically like as if you're about to get sick or whatever. And
Tommy,
just a really nasty reaction. So
Tommy takes it and just like holds it back out to him. Just screw that thing. Fuck that. and just like I'm just gonna stay on all fours because like. Even having like the little bit of whatever happened is gonna force my already kind of jumbled up stomach of drinks and stuff to I'm a vomit anyway. Just no.
But whenever Tommy looked up at you to give you the banjo back, you did make eye contact with him briefly, and for a second you were pretty convinced his eyes looked yellow, like bright yellow for a second. But kind of fleeting in that. So yeah, you don't quite know what you saw.
Did we notice if Tobin had a reaction?
Yeah, I think because Tobin's just there with you. He just seemed to get a little bit scared behind your leg because it was so quick, it was kind of just Tommy just dropped straight down onto his hands and knees. So it's probably more the kind of when you surprise a dog and go, So yeah.
What did it say to you? As I reach for the loot.
What did it say again? I don't even. It passed by.
Different animal.
Different animal. It said something about an animal. I don't know. I think maybe it was gonna give me an animal. I don't feel good.
Oh man, I haven't gotten that one yet. I'm gonna take the loot and I'm gonna cast mend. I see that his shirt or tore. Cast mending down the.
Thank you. Hey, thanks.
I'm gonna try to help. I'm gonna help him up.
Yeah, let's get this guy to bed.
Very pale, very like
sloppy sailor.
Very pale.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't.
Great. Okay, so as far as everyone's concerned, Tommy just looked like he was about to get sick, violently sick, and then did get sick violently on the ground. So you're still outside the Marcel house, and basically just trying to figure out sort of what you guys want to do over the next wee bit, or what you want to look at, and tell basically I can say that you weren't able to get anything from Aesir or Lorix with that, but you are coming back with a tray that it only has 2 cupcakes on it. So
okay.
So it's basically it's relatively early night at the moment, but you guys have been, some of you guys have been drinking pretty much all day. With that, so you're probably looking like an 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. It was cold during the day. It's significantly colder now because there's no sunlight. Still a little bit of snow falling, and basically people are kind of wrapping up for the night. You see some guards sort of shuffling around, nothing frantic or worried about them. They're more just doing their patrols and looking at their shifts, and most of the stalls and things are closing down. Anyway, tell as you're walking past, basically Freddy, the blacksmith that you had met, basically he's thanking you, and you can kind of just see him. He doesn't say a lot, but like kind of holds up the apron and goes, and you can tell he's appreciative. But yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Am I joining the group back up?
Yep. Okay.
I want to give him the rundown of if you guys know of any wood that we can find for the blacksmith, I would like to get him some wood. He's lost. Basically, give him the whole story.
Would I know what the agricultural department of the city, if they would?
Yeah, well, like Quentin Tusk. He's the other sort of council, and he's sort of agriculture as well. When it comes to that, Marielle raised more of the water. She's the seas. Mm-hmm. Cornelius is the sort of the religious, almost administrative head. You had True Storm, who was basically sort of minerals, sort of like the metal work and stuff as well for the city. And then Nelson was trade.
So put in a request for some supplies for the blacksmith to divert some supplies to him to get him up and running again.
You could probably have a meeting with him in the morning. It's late. Everyone's sort of night. Like there's no sort of office hours at the moment.
I'll write a letter of request. How about that? A requisition form.
Yep, that's fine. That's fine. And so basically we can kind of, it's that time of night. I know you guys love having long rests, and them at any opportunity that you can. So there's more than enough opportunity for that at the moment if you want it.
Do we know what role Zaris has stepped into? Which of the keeper or wardens roles that he stepped into, or is he just?
You don't.
Okay.
You don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, one of the things I want to emphasize is that someone's stealing wood. Random.
They're
not metal. Wood.
They're stealing random supplies. Like, remember you was saying like the stone slates?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that part.
His apron was missing.
Yep, leather.
I don't know if it's just the blacksmith or what. He said other people were having things going missing too.
Do you think someone's gonna try to make another coin mint?
I mean, it's
interesting.
Yeah. So so for you guys, because this competition was quite recent, so yeah, you've already picked up on things like the wood missing, the leather apron being missing, the rope being missing, as well as the natural stone. So a lot of these sort of things have been going missing. You got the sense from the blacksmith as well. It's not just him; it's other people. Like the guy wanted, asking him to fix the house, and the port reopening and bits and pieces. You can kind of see people grumbling around and wondering what the hell's going on. But yeah.
What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor?
This magic that I have, like, that I've been realized is different than anything that I had. Is it in your teachings in your learnings with Jarvis? Did you guys ever deal with like attunement or things like that? Anything?
Deal with a what?
Attunement. George kept talking about attuning this. And he's not talking about tuning like a guitar.
Would I do like a history check to?
No, that's fine. Basically, in your sort of training and things, Claude would kind of know about this as well, dealing with sort of, because it's like relics and things. So you're able to convey the idea that tuning is basically given enough time with an object, you can basically establish a greater connection with that, especially when it comes, attuning, exactly. So attunement, So so you basically explain this to Bo, like this idea of like establishing a greater connection with an item, so that the negative points are negated a little bit and it potentially becomes stronger as you basically practice and develop it.
Okay. I thought you were trying to ask us if we knew how to tune this instrument, and we aren't bards, but I get it now, and I relays that information.
Yeah, tuning that'd be my specialty, but this thing's new to me, so really it could just be something strong. It could actually be a gift more than a curse if I can work with it.
It could go either way. We could get Jarvis's opinion too and see if he might be able to help get you started at least and attuning to it, get off on the right track.
Anything. That's probably a good lead.
We can talk to him in the morning and then decide what we're gonna do next.
Yeah.
Massive shock hits the town area. Basically, the entire town area has been awakened in this moment as the ground itself is beginning to shake. And in that there, what you do notice in the sky above, near the town hall tower, is that tearing of the sky, that portal opening again, really struggling to kind of hold it together. And you do see that failure arm, basically this time basically coming straight down out of the area. From this perspective, this hand is pretty massive, and you guys are like the third tier, the two tiers down away from the city. It's absolutely massive, and you can just see you just hear this guttural laugh and a flick of the finger, and all of a sudden, all this wooden statue of Danu just erupts in a blaze and just goes, "Thanks again, Danu," and just closes off again. So basically, this town and the statue and the flames are spurting off to the side, and bushes and trees are catching fire up at that upper tier of the town. And basically that's, so you get the feeling you guys were one of the very few ones in the street, so you were sort of looking up and seeing this portal, but everybody sort of felt the shake of that and the reaction of that. So basically, as you're looking up there, the statue of Danu is ablaze at the moment.
I guess that's what we're doing tomorrow.
You sure we shouldn't do it right now?
I don't know. Rian's a little hesitant to jump into something that big, because Kisera was big, and this arm seems to be even bigger than Kisera. And it just seems like how I'm not even sure how we approach this.
Was it like it was like a portal? Did we see anything on the other side? Like, was there?
Hey, was
Oh, sorry.
What'd you say?
Is there anything?
Could we see anything from the other side of this portal? Like, was it from a different plane of existence, or like a location? Any sort of indicators?
So basically, with the angle of it, you almost just saw it kind of open in midair. So it wasn't even like the clouds or anything that sort of high up. It was ripped open, basically directly above the statue, like in the middle of just in the middle of nowhere. So it's not like it came down from the clouds or anything. Just imagine just massive hand right above the statue, still trying to burst through, and then just taking a moment and setting the statue on fire. So yeah,
I mean, Rush should try and put the fires out.
Yeah,
I assume the city guard are trying to help douse.
All right, Tommy, nap time's over.
Tommy's just that whole interaction is sobered him up a little bit, but he's like, all right, I guess the bed can wait, and starts like trudging along with you guys to go help put it out.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, it's it's a fire. It's a pretty concentrated fire in this area. So yeah, you're right. Between yourselves and the town guards and things, this does get taken care of. So it's not widespread. It's not destroying the entire city or anything.
Okay, I thought it was spreading.
It started to spread a little bit, but not like to the point of taking, more like flames shooting off and some bushes going on fire and grass and things. So it is able to be contained quite well, but it's just more a reminder of what is out there, and especially the idea that now that you guys have seen this twice, but no one else in the town has seen this. You get the feeling that's just a little bit of timing wise, because everyone saw the fire, but you can imagine it was getting late, it was getting dark, there was very little people on the street, and you guys were just kind of looking in that direction. So it's a matter of, is it bad timing, or you're not quite sure. Yeah, so that's basically going to kind of lead us in that sort of shot across the bow for today's session. As I said, getting everyone back into the game, getting back into your situations, a little bit of repercussions from the last one, and basically we're going to kind of kick it off in proper again, rather than just stick you guys in the middle of a nowhere and just go deal with it. You're dealing with this thing, you guys have lived your lives, and things are happening, and how they develop will progress how you guys see fit.
So no one's seen the hand out of the
everybody felt like the shake and the vibrations, and they kind of remembered from the time. It just, like, maybe other people saw it, but I'm just saying it wasn't like in the middle of everybody. So maybe somebody else saw it from a different angle if they were looking in that direction at the time. You guys in particular were drawn to it because you recognize these sounds and this vibration and this activity from what had happened right after the defeat of Kisera in the last one. So you guys had a reason to be like, oh shit, it's that again, and that's why you were looking. Everyone else is just, it's sound and noise and no particular reason to look in one direction or not.
We just built that fucking statue, dude.
Just built, man.
Yeah, but you know what's still there? You know what's still there? The metal plaque.
The plaque, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we stopped to look at it because nobody else would have seen it.
Yeah.
I will be right back, everybody. Okay, folks, that is where we're ending it for today. It's good to be back rolling some dice. A lot of role playing. I enjoyed it. Those are always fun sessions too. The battling ones are fun, but role playing and creating your characters and everything is always a good time. Heads up for next week. I'm gonna be very busy with work. Most likely, my only stream is gonna come on next Friday. But keep an eye out for my socials and my Discord. I'll post everything there. Also, I should be hopefully getting at least one, maybe 2 YouTube videos up next week of more God of War Ragnarok gameplay. So stuff for you guys to keep an eye out for. But as far as today, that's it for me. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. See you later.